What's going on, everybody? So, new haircut and maybe a more positive attitude. It might be because of the haircut. And I say that because I'm becoming a little more positive about the Florida-Tennessee game than I previously was after Florida played McNeese State. Florida blew out McNeese State. I went on High Top Sports. He asked me, hey, Blake, come on the live. And I went on there and I was like, all right, the McNeese State, they blew them out. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They did exactly what I said they should have done. Run the ball. And they did it effectively. And, they asked me, they asked my opinion on the Florida-Tennessee game. And I said, I think Tennessee's going to beat Florida 35-20. I might have spoke too soon. Now, I didn't see the Tennessee-Austin Peay game. I went back and looked at the Tennessee-Virginia game. Florida has played the tougher opponent by far out of the two teams. Florida, going to Utah, playing Utah, a very experienced team, a well-coached team. And, Utah, even with so many starters out, they were still the best team that either one of these teams have played. So I think my prediction of 35-20 was very premature. Now, what I've looked at, Tennessee has a very effective run game. They do. Now, look at their stats right here. Their yards rushing 257 per game to Florida's 170. Now, that's due to Utah only giving up 13 rushing yards in the first game. So, with Florida going crazy against McNeese State, it's only two games. It's still kind of hard to see where both these teams are. But you're going to see after Saturday where these teams are, especially in their progression. Tennessee just hasn't looked they haven't looked scary. Last year with Hendon Hooker, man, they were scary. Tennessee, I respect them. They're still a good team, but Joe Milton doesn't scare me like I thought he would going into the season. Now, that's just my opinion, and I think a lot of people, especially Florida Gator fans, are going to be excited for what I'm about to say. I really think they are. Listen, I get a lot of hate on this channel about me not being positive, and a lot of people were upset that I had Florida losing to Utah, especially early, and and I get it because I'm a fan of Florida, and I should listen. Even if I think they're going to lose, I should, but that's just not how I'm wired. I'm wired to give honest takes. The more I see out of Tennessee, and the little bit I see out of Florida, which I think offensively, with getting their center back, okay, Florida's starting center back, we knew he wasn't going to play against McNeese State. So you get the starting center back. That's the quarterback of your offensive line. I'm telling you, that's a huge upgrade for the Florida Gator offensive line, which we know has been atrocious, especially against Utah. McNeese State, they needed that confidence booster, but man, getting your quarterback at the center position is huge. I think it's very huge. Not too many people are talking about that yet, but I think it's going to be a factor when Florida takes on Tennessee. And the reason why I'm feeling even better about this Florida game is because it's in the Swamp. Sold out Swamp just announced today. I'm making this video Thursday. So you can hear my excitement. You probably know where I'm going with this. Listen, Tennessee fans, hate to do it to you, but man, the more and more I see this, I think Florida could upset the number 11th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. And I'm saying this, I'm not being sarcastic. A lot of times you can tell in some of my videos I'm being sarcastic or whatever. I just don't want to be let down because Utah, Cameron Rising wasn't playing. I got excited. I was like, man, Florida's got a shot. I got excited. And then I just, it broke me. No, but just Tennessee, they haven't looked as effective. We knew, their defense is suspect. Their defense is not the greatest. With Florida getting their starting center back, it's just such an upgrade because we saw how bad that offensive line was against Utah. I think now you got your leader. And I think it's just going to make life better for all the offensive line. I think it's going to make life better for the running backs. Montrell Johnson, Trevor Etienne, Trayon Webb. I think all three of these running backs are going to be a factor in this game. I don't think, at first I thought the weather was going to play a factor. I think it's supposed to rain early in the day in Gainesville, but after. I think it's supposed to be 20% chance of rain, so I think it's going to be fine there. Now, listen, on the other side of the ball, Tennessee, they can run the ball. Okay, they got two studs just like Florida does. Okay, so it's going to be a running attack. If you love the running game, you love defenses where they're going to have to step up, especially linebackers are going to have to step up. This is the game for you. And speaking of linebackers, guys, how about the highest ranked linebacker in SEC through 2 games, Shamar James, former 5-star linebacker. He's a true sophomore. We all knew Shamar James was going to be an elite linebacker. Last year, he went through the growing pains as a freshman, as a true freshman, starting and playing big time minutes. And this year, you could see how effective and how he needed that growth last year. And man, he's been flying all over the field, even in Utah. Listen, there weren't many bright spots in the Florida-Utah game, but he was a bright spot in that defense. So, I'm hoping the secondary for Florida, that's still a concern for me. It really is. The defensive line, can they get pressure? 0 sacks against Utah. Listen, McNeese State's a hard one to kind of compare, but man, and they really didn't get many sacks against McNeese State, but McNeese State didn't throw a whole lot. So I think Tennessee, they're going to want to throw the ball a little bit in this game, especially with Joe Milton. He's got a cannon. Now that's one thing he does have. He has a rifle of an arm. Joe Milton this year is 42 of 63 for 429 yards, 4 touchdowns. Mertz actually has a little bit better stats, 45 of 61, higher completion percentage, 526 yards. He has more yards. Plus, he threw for over 300 yards against Utah, but 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Joe Milton can run the ball now. He's that third running back whenever he's back there. Okay, listen, Tennessee has 2 good stud running backs, but Joe Milton's that third one, so he can run as well. Florida on defense has had a problem with running quarterbacks. It's just been a thing. We saw it last year, and it hurt them in the Utah game when Utah brought in their backup quarterback, and it hurt them. So it's interesting because Tennessee is only a 6-point favorite too, by the way. But man, I'm going with the upset. I really am. I think I'm pushing because Saturday on my stance is totally different than today, and nothing's changed. Like, it's just me watching actually Tennessee, the 2 games against Virginia, against Austin Peay, and then watching Florida, just Utah. I mean, I think Florida's battle tested because they've played a tough opponent away. I think that gives them an edge because Tennessee, this is going to be their toughest opponent. Let's be honest. Virginia and Austin Peay, they're not even comparable to Florida, even though I give Florida crap a lot of times. But I think this is going to be a struggle for Tennessee going into the Swamp. They haven't beat the Florida Gators in the Swamp in over 20 years. Now, is Tennessee capable still of beating Florida on the road? Yeah, I mean, they can. They got the talent, but man, it's just going to be interesting. I just hope Billy Napier comes with a better game plan. He doesn't call 20 wide receiver screens. Those kill me. I don't know why. I saw a bunch of wide receiver screens last year. I saw a little bit against Utah. I was like, oh, get that out of the playbook. But no, I mean, really, if this team comes together that I think it can, I think it can upset Tennessee. And, I'm not calling a blowout by no means, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than I thought. I said 35-20, Tennessee would win, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think Florida upsets Tennessee 24-17. So for Florida to get the upset over Tennessee at home, I think these things need to happen. I think they will. Graham Mertz does not need to throw the ball for over 30 times like he did against Utah. I think if he's 15 to 20, maybe throwing it 20 times at most, going for 180, 200, a couple big completions to like Ricky Pearsall. If the Florida Gator offense, I know this is going to pain me because I saw it against Utah, saw it all last year. False starts, holding calls. That cannot happen. Listen, you're at home. You have the crowd on your side. Crowd's going to be quiet, okay, especially when you're on offense. Can't have false starts. Can't have pre-snap penalties. You just can't. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for Florida. At least it shouldn't, okay? There shouldn't be 2 number 3s on the field. Oh, is that a little soon? But Tennessee is still Tennessee. I think they have a good defensive line, but of course, their passing game is suspect. And I think Graham Mertz can use that play action hard and stop with the pump fakes. Nobody's falling for those pump fakes that he's doing. But if he can use a hard play action, because you know the Florida Gators are going to want to run the ball, if they can run it effective, that's one thing he could not do against Utah because the run game just wasn't there. So if he can use a hard play action, third quarter late in the game, man, I'm telling you, he can eat up some big, that Tennessee defense with some big throws using the hard play action. So we're going to have to see, man, but I really feel like, I don't know. My stance has changed since Saturday, especially watching a little bit more of Tennessee and just seeing like they're not as stout as I thought they were. So, Joe Milton, remember, Joe Milton has said he doesn't lose in Florida. We all know if you give someone some ammunition, we've all seen Colorado and teams are talking crap to Colorado. Colorado just whoops them. They're 2-0. But if you give someone ammunition, that could be a problem. And Joe Milton's already said, he said a little bit already. We haven't forgot. Florida Gator fans don't forget. So, I'm giving the edge and I'm giving the victory 24-17. Florida beats Tennessee in the Swamp. And man, if they could do that, who knows what can happen. My preseason schedule prediction, or it was actually an early schedule prediction, I have Florida losing to Tennessee. But man, you know what? Even though Tennessee, top 15 team, ranked number 11th, they just don't scare me like I thought they would. So, hey guys, as always, I appreciate y'all watching this channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see y'all Saturday. I'm going live. Let's get it and let's go Gators.